Welcome to the Globalized School YouTube channel. Children are the heritage of the Lord. They are gift to us. We always wanted our children to be disciplined, which needs self-control. The Holy Scripture records, train up a child in a way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. How true it is. Here is the program which relates and connects to it. Watch, share, and be blessed. Thank you.
Beloved, this is an organization which enlightens the students enrolled with social awareness and contemporary related issues. In connection to the same, every academic year we conduct many programs, and one among them is Temperance contest, which deals with an individual's health care and restraining them in indulging into evil healthy actions. We have got vibrant, enthusiastic, and sparkling students. For this academic year, the topic chosen is COVID-19, and we have categorized the children into three groups. The first one is the middle group, which comprises of 6th to 8th standard, who would be talking on the topic SOP of COVID. The second group is 9th and 10th, the high schoolers, and their topic is COVID and vaccination. And the third group is higher secondary group, who would be talking about the variants and the post-COVID effect. Let's sit back, listen to the children speak on their topics, which will be useful and informative to each one of us. Thank you.
Coronavirus shoo. Let's fight the virus, protect ourselves. Coronavirus shoo. And these are what we should do. Respected chairman, honorable judges, principal, teachers, and all my dear friends, it's my great privilege to talk about standard operating procedures of COVID. The COVID-19 crisis, being a pandemic demand, poses considerable risk in the field of education, employment, mental health, and has shown long-term loss in economic and social consequences. I'm sure we all know the symptoms and mode of transmission of COVID. It is vital to prevent the transmission and break the infection. Let us turn our ears to hear some of the general standard operating procedures of COVID. The entrance should have mandatory hand hygiene like sanitizer dispenser and thermal screening provisions. Only asymptomatic people will allowed in working environment and schools. Everyone should follow social distancing. And do you know what it is? Individual must maintain maximum 6 feet is in common places. We should use face cover or mask at all times. How to wear it? Mask must be worn properly to cover nose and mouth. Touching the outer part of it carries lots and lots of germs. Practice frequent hand washing with soap and water for 40 to 60 seconds. Hand washing technique includes rinsing, washing, scrubbing the nails, fingers, palms, and wrists. Same technique is used while using alcohol-based sanitizer for 20 to 30 seconds. Respiratory etiquette like covering one's mouth and nose while coughing or sneezing with tissues or handkerchief or flex elbow has to be followed properly. Spitting shall be strictly prohibited. Installation and use of Arogya Setu application in our mobile developed by our Government of India for proper information and awareness about COVID-19 is very important. At last, vaccinate yourself to protect against the deadly disease. Don't give up hope. The end is in sight. If we all stick together, we all end this fight. Thank you.
Good morning, respected principal, teachers, and all dear my friends. I am going to talk about standard operating procedure of COVID. What do you mean by standard operating procedure of COVID? A standard operating procedure is a set of step-by-step instructions compiled by an organization to help workers carry out routine operating during the training. The total number of hours for the batch will remain same for the skill development program training as approved by the NSQF for the set qualification path. The basic preventive measures include simple public health measures that are followed to reduce the risk of the infection with the COVID-19. These include entrance gate of building offices, cafeteria and canteens, classrooms, labs, open areas such as verandas, lab equipments. Guidelines for disinfection. The essay of implementations and the disinfection and cleanliness, indoor and outdoor areas. Indoor areas, including office spaces, training centers, and conference rooms, should be cleaned every evening after office hours. For metallic surfaces like door handles, security locks, and keys, etc., 70% alcohol-based disinfection and white-burn surfaces. Outdoor areas. Outdoor areas are less risk than the indoor areas are due to air currents and exposure to sunlight. These include bus stops, railway platforms, and parking areas. Toilets. Sanitary ward must use a set of cleaning equipments for toilets. They should always wear a disposable gloves while cleaning the toilets. Personal protective gloves is disposable, biohards are disposal waste bag. COVID-19 symptoms are displayed by the passengers. Inform them to move to the isolation areas. Screening items under uses. The screener should always clean their hands before putting the mask and after removing. A mask can use only once. It should be noted that touching the mask with the dirty hands or contaminated gloves. Always wash hands before putting and after putting the gloves. Change gloves with any time they are damaged or torn. To conclude, do vaccinate and put the mask properly. Maintain social distancing and sanitizing. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Good morning all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am standing in front of you to share my views about SOP of COVID. Can we uninstall 2020 and install it again? No, we can't. This version has a virus. So what to do? Here are some standard operating procedures by WHO which must be followed in this COVID-19. Come on, let us see some of the magical tricks to vanish COVID-19. First, social distancing. Self-distancing is the new self-care. Stay at least 6 feet away from others. Use steps for climbing. If you use lift, only 2 to 4 persons allowed. Avoid handshaking. Mask. No mask, no entry is the law. Mask should cover your nose, mouth and chin. Wash your hands while wearing your mask and after removing it. Mask works, so work with mask. Hand hygiene. Soap and water are our best friends and enemies of corona. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water for 40 to 60 seconds or hand rub for at least 20 to 30 seconds. Come on, let's see some of the important 6 steps of hand washing. Palm to palm. Palm with fingers interlocked between fingers. Palm with fingertips. Rub each thumb. Rub each wrist. Respiratory hygiene. Avoid open cough or sneeze. If you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue or bent elbow. Spitting in public should be avoided. Environmental hygiene. Disinfect the regularly touched things like door handle, mobile, step railings, etc. Avoid 3 C's. Closed contact, closed spaces, crowded places. Testing. RAT and RT-PCR tests are done to detect COVID. These tests are done in government and private hospitals. Vaccination. In spite of all these safety measures, vaccine played a major role. Vaccine aim is to expose our body to antigen and provokes immune response that will help us to block or kill the virus. In my conclusion, I strongly believe if we follow these SOPs of COVID, will definitely help us to kick out the virus globally. One day, like a miracle, it will disappear all over the world. A mask is better than a ventilator. Home is better than ICU. Prevention is better than treatment. It is not a curfew. It is care for you. Thank you.
Honorable judges, respected principal, teachers and all my dear friends, good morning to you all. Today I am going to be talking about standard operating procedure for COVID-19. Coronavirus are large family of SARS virus causing illness in people and animals, including camels, cats and bats. In humans, the transmission of COVID-19 can occur via respiratory droplets directly or indirectly. The people more at risk of COVID-19 infection are those who are in close contact with a suspected or confirmed COVID-19 patient. What are standard operating procedures? Standard operating procedure SOP are meant to guide and to be followed while handling this pandemic situations. The first ever standard precautions globally is based on the principle that all body fluids, secretions, excretions and mucous membranes may contain transmissible infectious agents. The standard precautions include use of barrier precautions, hand hygiene, personal protective equipments and safe injection practices. The SOP for transportation of patients are: first, a call center on receiving call inquires the demographic details of a patient. Later, assign the job to nearest ambulance with dedicated faculty at strategic locations. The patient. The few general SOP that ought to be followed by common people are: number 1, inform healthcare provides if you are seeking care for COVID-19. Number 2, wear a medical mask during transport or when you are not alone. Number 3, wash hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand wash or soap. Number 4, maintain a social distance by staying at least 1 meter away. Number 5, carry a paper tissue to cover your mouth or nose when coughing or sneezing. Thus, I would like to conclude my speech saying that Namaste saves your life. Shake hands shakes your life. Be informed, be prepared, be smart, be safe, be ready to fight with COVID-19. Think and act. Thank you.
Honorable judges, principals and my dear friends, I am very pleased to welcome to my speech. Good morning everyone. Today's my topic is about standard operating procedure for COVID. Now we see some facts about COVID-19. CO stands for corona, VI for virus and D for disease. The COVID-19 is a new virus linked in the same family of virus and severe acute respiratory syndrome and same types of the common cold. Now we talk about how COVID-19 first infected in India. The first case of COVID-19 reported in Kerala, India on January 27, 2020. A 20-year female presented to the emergency department in Kerala, Tiruchur. What is COVID-19? It is the largest category of an RNA virus. It is difficult to detect. Coronavirus or a different cold. Causing viruses causing you fever. What causes COVID-19? COVID-19 is caused by infection with the severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2. Most common symptoms: fever, cough, tiredness, loss of taste or smell. How to prevent this? Maintain social distance, step outside if only needed, wear a mask in public, get sanitize your hand regularly, get vaccinated, stay home, stay safe. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.
Good morning, respected principal, teachers and all my dear friends. I am standing in front of you to deliver a speech about standard operating procedure of COVID-19. Create social distance standard for employees, students in communal areas such as office room, classroom, restroom and lunch areas, etc. Health and sanitation training for students, employees, like hand washing practice for 60 seconds long. Correct use of PPE, personal protective equipment. Implement no touch greeting policy. Clean your hands before you put your mask on, as well as before and after you touch it at any time. Make sure it covers both your nose, mouth and chin. Correct use of disinfectants of various surface, workstation, equipments in general of all places. Correct procedure of waste removal. The employees, students or clients should not go directly to the doctor's consulting room, as the employees, students or clients can risk exposing to the other patients to COVID-19. Do not travel with the potential infected person. Vaccine and childhood immunization are vital practice to protect yourself and your children and the entire population from contrasting dangerous disease and from preventing outbreaking and pandemic situation. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you all.
Good morning to all. Today I am going to talk about SOP of COVID-19. It means Standard Operating Procedure of COVID-19. The basic steps of SOP of COVID-19 are maintain at least 6 feet distance, social distance, and wear and check and wash your hands before you are wearing your mask, and
Good morning to one and all present here. Today I am here to speak on the topic of Standard Operating Procedure of COVID. Precautions are better than cure. As quoted, let me put on some precautions that each and every citizen should be aware of. Starting off with sharing accurate information and science-based facts about COVID-19 will help and diminish society's fear and support their ability to cope up with any secondary impacts in their life. Know that until there is an effective vaccine or treatment, everyone remains at the risk of COVID-19. While restrictions are being lifted everywhere, the disease hasn't gone yet. So, continue to practice protective measures. As recommended by WHO, maintain social distancing, frequent hand washing, covering cough and sneezes, cleaning frequently touched objects and surface regularly, and most importantly, wearing face mask would reduce the risk of the spreading. Furthermore, COVID-19 is a disease. It's transmitted by person to person by via contact through droplet infection. It's important to maintain self-hygiene. If you have fever, cough or breathing difficulty, seek medical care as early as possible. Stay home if you are unwell. Follow the medical directions given by the doctor. Keep your rooms well ventilated when you are with people. Moreover, avoid 3 C's. Places that are closed, crowded and involving close contact. So finally, I conclude by thanking the Corona warriors on the front line of this pandemic. Let's spread social awareness about this virus to all around us and let's get them knowledge about this. Spread facts, not fear. Thank you.
A very good morning to one and all, or present here, to respected principal, respected chief judges, our kind teachers, and my dear friends. Today I am going to speak about SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. Corona is a group of virus that cause either mild illness such as cold or can make a people sick with pneumonia. You may have heard that there are new variants of coronavirus. The few variants of coronavirus are found in the United Kingdom, South Africa and Brazil. We are still learning more, but these variants seems to spread easily and quickly. The best way to prevent COVID-19 is to practice all of the same safety precautions: getting vaccinated, maintaining social distancing, using face coverings, washing your hands, and staying at home as much as possible. We all know how it spread, how to protect yourself and others. The symptoms of COVID-19 include fever, cough, and shortness of breath, etc. as we all know. Now I am going to tell about SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. We all know how it spreads. The best way to prevent COVID-19 is to avoid being exposed to this virus. Everyone should wash your hands often with soap and water at least 30 seconds, especially you have been in a public place. If soap and water are not readily available, use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% of alcohol. Avoid close contact with who are sick. Keep distance between yourself and other people. Cover your mouth and nose with a mask when around others. Everyone should wear a mask in a public settings. Continue to keep at least 6 feet between yourself and other people. Cover, cough and sneeze. Always cover your mouth and nose with a tissue when you cough or sneeze, or use the inside of your elbow. Throw the used tissues in the trash. Avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surface daily. This includes tables, doorknobs, switches, countertops, toilets, faucets and sinks, etc. I would like to thank you for doctors, nurses and medical workers for their great support to us. I would like to conclude it by saying, and thank you for everyone. Thank you.
Pleasant morning to one and all present here. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Today I would like to share some standard operating procedure for COVID-19. As you all know, this pandemic situation made in our life in bad. But now we are overcoming from the terrible virus. Now I am going to talk about some SOP and safety protocol that should be followed. Like sanitation. Ensure proper cleaning and sanitation facilities in all public places. Next, social distancing. Ensure physical social distancing at the entry and the exit point of the public place. Next, wearing a mask. Ensure that you are wearing a mask whenever you move out of your house. It is the first protection for COVID or any other virus. These three should always be routinely applied in all areas of healthcare facilities including OPD. Precautions for public workers such as doctor, police, street sweepers and healthcare workers. They are at high risk to getting infected. Precaution is necessary to protect themselves and prevent spread to others. Distancing. Whenever possible, they should keep your distance and practice hand hygiene. Personal protective equipment (PPE). The three principles they all should be followed. Social distancing, use of correct PPE, personal protective equipment, and hygiene. Personal protection is the principal element should be followed for everyone. Stay at home as much as possible. Unless there is an emergency need, keep away the traffic of home visitors, including home care personnel, maid friends, family members and other people. And hygiene. Hand hygiene using alcohol-based hand rubber washing with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Elbow. Covering mouth and nose with your bent elbows, handkerchief, tissues while sneezing or coughing. Face. Avoid touching face, eyes, nose and mouth with your hands. Space. Keep your distance for at least 1 meter from the next person outside and in your home. I think this precaution and safety will keep us be safe from COVID-19. And I would like to remember your proverbs. Prevention is better than cure. So kindly inject COVID vaccine to protect from COVID virus. I would like to end my speech. I feel so honored to be here. Would like to express my gratitude to all of the teachers, principal who are helping us to throw online class in pandemic situation. Thank you.
Hi everybody, good morning to one and all who are present here. In this situation, we are facing COVID-19 virus. The pain of illness leads us to seek temporary or emergency relief, reacting or responding to the immediate threat and damage. But we cannot live like this forever. So I am here to speak about SOP, Standard Operating Procedure of COVID-19 virus. When we are going to public places, you must wear mask and you should not remove it, and avoid touching face, eyes, nose and mouth. Maintain social distance of 6 feet in public places like theatres, malls, shops, etc. Wash fruits and vegetables which are brought from market with hot water and avoid spitting and littering in public places. Next I am going to speak about SOP in office. All officers and staff to be allowed only if they are wearing face mask at all time. Number of people in the elevator to be restricted and seats may be designed with social distance. If possible, meetings should be conducted to video conference. Avoid eating canteen foods. Try to eat home cooked food and healthy food. and wash hands with soap for minimum 40 to 60 seconds before and after eating food. Finally, I am going to speak about SOP in schools. After reopening of school campus should be cleaned daily and students should not be involved in the cleaning activities. Social distance should be maintained in staff room, classroom and in office areas. Water, sanitation and waste management facilities should be in the school. If possible, hand sanitizer may be kept in the entrance of the school. Sanitation should be done when students entering the school and leaving the school. Windows and doors to be kept open for ventilation. Encourage students to bring home cooked food and healthy food to eat and avoid sharing it with others. If possible, parents are encouraged to pick up and drop their children. Parents should take care not to bring their ward to school if the child is not feeling well. So follow SOP in public places, offices, schools, etc. Thank you.
Good morning to all. Today I have a great opportunity to talk and share about the standard operating procedure related to coronavirus before you. The World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on 13th January 2020 and a pandemic on 11th March 2020. WHO stated that there is a high risk of COVID-19 spreading to other countries around the world. To face this pandemic situation, they framed the SOP procedure to be learned and to be trained and to be followed. So let us share what is SOP and what are the procedures. SOP means Standard Operating Procedure is a set of step-by-step instruction complied by an organization. Its main aim is to achieve efficiency, quality output and uniformity of performance while reducing the miscommunication and failure. Coronavirus or the large family of virus, some causing illness in people and other that circulate among animals including camels, cats and bats. In humans, the transmission of COVID-19 can occur via respiratory droplet directly through surface. The people most at the risk of COVID-19 infection are those who are in close contact with the suspect COVID-19 and those who care for such patients. General guidance and directives. Do not touch surfaces or objects that you suspect may be contaminated. Self-monitoring your health then and there. Maintaining social distance, avoiding handshake and mingling in general population could limit transmission of virus. Using face mask can limit transmission rate of virus. They want properly to cover nose and mouth. By avoiding public transportation. Installation and use of Oregon Shade app by all. Some specific prevention measure for workplace. Entrance to have mandatory hand sanitizer and hygiene and thermal screening provisions. Only staff's visitors shall be allowed entry. There shall be provision for disinfection at least twice a day of the interior of the vehicle. Use 1% of sodium hypochlorite solution. A proper disinfection of frequently touched surfaces, that is door handles, keys, etc. should be taken up. Meeting as far as feasible should be done through video conferencing. Thank you for all.
Imagine and think, what will be your reaction if I remind you the words lockdown, quarantine, COVID-19? Isn't it horrible to thinking about the past? Let us be thankful that we are all alive today. Honorable judges, respected principal, teachers and all my dear friends, I am here to talk about the standard operating procedures of COVID. The COVID-19 global health emergency and its economic and social impacts have disrupted nearly all aspects of life for all groups in our society. This pandemic aggravated non-standard employment, downscaling of education, health risks and income loss. In order to ensure health and safety across all operational, rules, certain standard operating procedures has to be implemented. Face masks and personal protective equipments are mandatory for all and ensure that it covers the nose and mouth as well to prevent spread of virus. Thermal screening is compulsory to monitor the health condition. People with symptoms should be segregated and self-isolated for further management. The entry gate should have hand sanitizer to sanitize and clean our hands properly, or hand washing ports. Hand washing includes scrubbing and rubbing the fingernails and inner sole of palm for 30 to 40 seconds with soap and water, proceeded with rinsing thoroughly. During physical interaction, strictly adhere to the social distancing of minimum 6 feet. Every one of us should register ourselves in Arogya Setu mobile application, which is developed by the Government of India to get proper information and awareness about COVID-19. Say no to the crowd gatherings and stay connected with video conferencing applications. Cleaning and disinfecting the contaminated zone with 1% hypochlorite solution for every 4 to 6 hours prevents and stops the spread of virus. Follow all the facilities which is provided by our government. Abstain from handshake and unnecessary touching. Last but not the least, vaccinate yourselves to protect and prevent worsening damage of COVID symptoms. Let us pray the Almighty to stay healthy, happy and calm to fight against this deadly disease. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. I am going to talk about standard operating procedure of COVID. By the end of December 2019, a new infectious respiratory disease appeared in Wuhan, China, and the World Health Organization named it the COVID-19 virus. And the virus is transmitted from a sick person to a healthy person through respiratory droplets when the sick person coughs or talks close to another person. COVID-19 can be spread by touching contaminated surfaces or objects and then touching eyes, nose or mouth, etc. The general guidance of COVID-19 issues include wearing of face cover is compulsory in all public places, workplaces. All persons in charge of public places, workplaces and transport shall ensure social distancing as per the guidelines issued by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Manager of public place shall allow gathering of 5 or more persons. Gatherings such as marriage and funerals shall remain regulated by the district magistrate. Spitting in public spaces shall be punishable with fine. There should be strict ban on sale of liquid, vodka, tobacco, etc. And spitting should be strictly prohibited. All workplaces shall have adequate arrangements for temperature scanning and provide sanitizer at convenient places. Workplaces shall have a gap of 1 hour between shifts and will stagger the lunch breaks of staff to ensure social distancing. Person above 65 years of age and person with comorbidities and parents of children below the age of 5 may be encouraged to work from home. Use of Arogya Setu will be encouraged for all employees, both private and public. All organizations shall sanitize their workplaces between shifts. Large meetings to be prohibited. Frequent cleaning of common surfaces and mandatory hand washing shall be mandated in manufacturing units. No overlap of shifts and will stagger the lunch breaks of staff into social distancing. Intensive communication and training on good hygiene practices shall be taken up. These are the steps everyone should follow during the pandemic situation. So maintain social distance, wear a mask. Thank you.
Songs, better and wise. Greetings everyone. I stand before you on this day to keep you occupied with me on the topic Standard Operating Procedure of COVID. I think we don't need an introduction for COVID-19 or coronavirus or this pandemic. As our last 20 months, our lives has been occupied by this pandemic like a mouse, caught in a trap waiting to break free. So what is Standard Operating Procedure SOP?
Good morning, teachers, students, honorable judges. Today we are going to see about COVID and vaccination. COVID-19 is a disease caused by new virus called SARS-CoV-2. World Health Organization first learned of this new virus on 31st December 2019 following a cluster of cases of viral pneumonia in Wuhan of China. This virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or nose in a small liquid particles when they cough, speak or breathe. These particles range from larger respiratory droplets to smaller aerosols. It is important to practice respiratory etiquette, for example, coughing into a flexed elbow and to stay home and self-isolate until you recover if you feel unwell. Most people infected with this virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without special treatment. Some will become seriously ill and require medical attention. Older people and those with underlying medical conditions like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease or cancer are more likely to develop serious illness. In most situations, a molecular test used to detect SARS-CoV-2. Polymerase chain reaction is the most commonly used molecular test. Samples are collected from the nose and throat with a swab. Molecular tests detect SARS-CoV-2 usually within a few days of exposure. So wash your hands regularly, maintain social distancing, wear a mask when you go out. Who all are eligible for vaccination should take the vaccine which are available in India is Covishield and Covaxin. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to all who are present here. Today I am here to speak about COVID and vaccination. Most of us know at least some information about COVID and we faced a lot of problems during the quarantine. Now let's discuss something interesting about COVID and vaccination. The World Health Organization, that is WHO, declared COVID outbreak a pandemic leak in March 2020. The virus has claimed more than 2.5 million lives globally. The outbreak of the novel coronavirus disease was noticed in a seafood market in Wuhan City, Hubei province of China in December 2019, has now widespread to 215 countries. Do you know how scientists name the disease? Let me explain. Viruses are named by the ICTV, International Committee on Taxonomy of Viruses. We all say that COVID-19 and coronavirus, but do you know the exact meaning of COVID-19? The word CO stands for corona, VI stands for virus and D stands for disease, was referred as 2019 novel coronavirus disease. COVID-19 virus is linked to the same family of viruses as SARS. Most of our parents and teachers advise us to wash our hands frequently. Why is it so? A recent research says that COVID-19 virus can survive 12 hours on plastic and stainless steel, 4 hours on copper and 24 hours on cardboard. Now, let's hear about vaccination. Vaccination saves lives at every stage of life. Getting vaccinated is very important in today's world. How do vaccines work? That is the question arises in your mind. COVID-19 vaccines produce protection against the disease as a result of developing an immune response. Developing immunity through vaccination means there is a reduced risk of developing the illness. Portugal takes the lead in the world in vaccination, with about 84% of its population fully vaccinated. The side effects of vaccines are within the first 3 days and the last 1 or 2 days. How long could COVID-19 vaccines immunities last? Vaccination is expected last up to 9 months. Helen Keller quotes, "Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming of it." Thank you.
A very ethical and precious morning who are present here. I am here to furnish a speech on a topic, coronavirus and vaccination. Yes, this morning is something precious. Precious because our every single life is precious, but don't know who has dragged our earth. And this virus let down those also were on the top, like USA. America, being the superpower, all among the countries were also succumbed, and that is what makes this virus a pandemic. Coronavirus is an infectious disease caused by the severe respiratory illness. SARS-CoV-2 was first identified in Wuhan and China. Absence has spread globally, resulting in an ongoing pandemic. Coronavirus is a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from a common cold to a severe disease, and that is what makes most people have suffered and also had many problems in that, and many have also recovered. It spreads between people through close contact, and symptoms shows like high fever, respiratory illness and loss of breath. Now let's move to an interesting topic about vaccination. Talking about vaccination, COVID-19 vaccines have reached millions of people worldwide, but the world have also suffered putting the vaccination, and most of the people have suffered and also dead, but most of the people are also recovered from this COVID-19. Coronavirus are a new virus, and we are still learning how it affects children and people. Older people and pre-existing medical conditions seems more likely to develop the severe illness high. India has a great population to make the Indian economy stable, but how can we stay at home? But we should. And I salute to all the laborers who are struggling the most for ourselves and not caring about themselves, and to the corona warriors who are only caring about ourselves and making their life for us. And now I would like to confine my speech, hoping the rectification of the world and hope this COVID-19 ends as soon as possible. Thank you.
This year is going to be the best year. Listen to me carefully. This year is going to be the best year. This is what the actual resolution I took on the beginning of 2020. Even 2020 is a dream for many people, including our Honorable Level President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And that respected man said once, 2020 is going to be a history of India, a vision for the new millennium. He strongly believed that India will become a super powerful and developed country in 2020. And today I'm going to talk about a most trending topic of the world is COVID and vaccination. Who doesn't know about COVID? Yes, of course, coronavirus is the most trending topic for past 1 or 2 years, and millions of people, a number of countries across the world would never expected this historical change. And bunch of peoples across the world are still getting sick and dying every day. Over 77 million people has been infected by this virus, and the death crossed more than 1.7 million. Being a high school student, I also faced some sort of challenges during this COVID-19 pandemic time. I don't know exactly when it's going to end, but our government, our Indian government, has been providing a good quality amount of vaccination for the people of India. And today is the most important day for me because I'm really speaking a most important topic. And today, I'm going to insist everyone to get vaccinated because our government, our Indian government, has been providing a good quality amount of vaccination for the people of India. Yes, of course, vaccination is the most important for every people and is very important. We are living in the part of history, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen next. We thought our country, India, will become a developed country in 2020, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen for us because of this dangerous virus, COVID-19. So I'm insisting everyone to get vaccinated to avoid the COVID-19. And the most important to follow is a better hygiene, such as washing hands for 20 seconds, using sanitizer, maintaining a proper social distance for 6 feet, and using sanitizer and wearing mask which close all your mouth, nose and your chin. And thank you so much for giving this wonderful opportunity to speak about this intelligent topic. Thank you so much.
A great morning to you all. In this auspicious morning, I am going to talk about COVID and vaccination. The pandemic in India is a part of worldwide of pandemic of coronavirus disease 2019, and that is COVID-19. As of 27 September 2021, according to the official figures, India was the second largest number of COVID-19 cases and also the third largest number of COVID-19 deaths around the world. Do you all know about the first case in India? Yes, the first case in India was reported on 13th January 2020 in 3 towns of Kerala among the 3 Indian medical students who were returned from Wuhan. And India was the first country to report 4 lakh new cases in a 24-hour period. I think you all know about the last 2 years of our education. Yes, on 16th March 2020, the Union government had ordered the closure of schools and colleges. States across the country, the younger students were automatically postponed based on their peer performances. Only a few educational institutions in India were able to adapt e-learning, and that is also impacted by serious electricity issues and lack of internet connectivity. And let us come to the main point, vaccination. Vaccine saves millions of lives each year. Vaccines work by training and preparing the body's natural defenses. After vaccination, if the body is exposed to those disease-causing germs, the body is immediately ready to destroy them and preventing from illness. As of 3rd June 2021, the World Health Organization evaluated that the vaccines against COVID-19 is the necessary criteria for safety and efficiency. And India started its vaccination on 16 January 2021. The vaccines are AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, Sinopharm and Sinovac are some of the vaccines used in our world. And I want to give you some suggestions like take whatever vaccine is made available to you first. Even if you already have COVID-19, it is necessary to be vaccinated as soon as possible once on it's your turn and not wait. It is necessary to be vaccinated as soon as possible once on it's your turn and not wait. Even you are vaccinated, you should follow some precautions like keep at least 1 meter from others, wear a mask especially in the crowded and closed, and wash your hands frequently and maintain a distance from 1 meter from others and have a bath after coming from the outdoors. And stay positive because the better days are on the way. Thank you.
COVID-19 pandemic has been one of the greatest health crises in the recorded history. This pandemic has lost honorable judges, respected teachers and my dear friends, a very glad morning to all. It's my great pleasure to speak about our current crisis on COVID and vaccine. Coronavirus is a large family of viruses that are known to cause illness ranging from common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome and Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. A novel COVID-19 was first detected in a seafood market in Wuhan city in China on mid-December 2019, has now spread to 215 countries. The most common symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, dry cough, cold, loss of taste or smell, headache, body ache, nasal congestion, red eyes and diarrhea. The lung is the most affected organ by COVID-19. Stay home and self-isolate even if you have minor symptoms like fever, dry cough, cold, headache until you recover. If you have still difficulty in breathing, seek medical attention immediately. According to World Health Organization and expert health authorities around the world are urging people to get vaccinated as the best way to end the pandemic. The sooner people are immunized, the faster it will be possible not only to slow the spread of disease but also to limit its impact on economy. Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Covishield, Covaxin, Coronavac are some of the vaccines used worldwide for COVID. Still, it is debatable about the origin of COVID virus, whether it is man-made or naturally developed. Whatever the case, this is the continuation of the human beings exploiting the nature. They see the wrath of Mother Earth. Human race should cautiously use the scientific technology towards the nature-friendly way and live happily for future. So, I finally conclude that stopping the spread of COVID-19 starts with you. So, wear your mask properly, wash your hands frequently, maintain a safe distance, stay at home when you are unwell, and get vaccinated to maintain a healthy society. A famous quote by our father of our nation says that it's health that's real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. In this special morning, I am going to talk about COVID-19 and vaccination. The outbreak of novel COVID-19 was initially noticed in seafood market in Wuhan city in Hebei, province of China in mid-December 2019. COVID-19 virus is the largest category for an RNA virus known as COVID-19 virus, identified as coronavirus, can cause pneumonia and like other respiratory infection. It has an incubation between 1 and 14 days. COVID-19 virus caused by infection with the cerebral respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. Some way to prevent the way of COVID-19. Avoid touching surface, especially in public settings or health facilities. Clean your hands with soap and water and alcohol-based hand rub. Be a hero and break the chain of COVID-19. The world is in the midst of COVID-19. The medicine supplies to develop is safe and vaccine effective. Vaccine saves millions of lives each year. Vaccines work by training and preparing the body natural defense, the immunity systems to work by respiratory. As if the body later exposed to those diseases, the body is immediately ready to destroy them. Many of you ask if COVID-19 vaccines are safe. Yes, the strict protection of safety. COVID-19 viruses, the World Health Organization and the National Health Agency prove that the COVID-19 vaccines are safe to be vaccinated. The World Health Organization also coordinate with local, religion and national health officers to investigate the COVID-19 vaccine safety. As of 3rd June, the World Health Organization proved that the COVID-19 vaccines are against the COVID-19. The vaccines are safe to be most people 18 years and older than. Even if you are already had COVID-19, you should be vaccinated when it is offered to you. Let's act together to make a difference. We will all can solve the problem of COVID-19 and vaccine inequality. Take the vaccine. Vaccine is safe to be vaccinated. Maintaining social distance and wash your hands and maintaining the social distance and be aware of COVID-19. Thank you.
The principal who is in the lotus pond and to the teachers grades in, and my sincere regards to students like me. The topic currently given to me is COVID and vaccination. All of us are worried when the deadly corona that has been threatening us for the past 2 years will leave us. What is coronavirus? Coronavirus are a family of viruses that can cause respiratory illness in humans. They get their name corona from the many crown-like spikes on the surface of the viruses. Severe acute respiratory syndrome, Middle East respiratory syndrome and the common cold are the example of virus that can cause illness in humans. The symptoms of coronavirus are headache, fever, cough, sore throat, tiredness, congestion, runny nose and diarrhea. The new strain of coronavirus COVID-19 was first reported in Wuhan, China in December 2019. The virus has since spread to all continents except Antarctica. Vaccination is the administration of vaccines in microorganisms to everybody. Vaccines contain a microorganism or virus in a weakened or live or killed states or proteins, toxins from an organism. Who should not be vaccinated? Currently under 16 years of age, people with high allergies, pregnant ladies, people who are immunocompromised, they should not be vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccinator was first introduced in America on 2nd December 2020. In India, COVID-19 vaccination started at 16th January 2021. Is there any difference between common cold vaccine and COVID-19 vaccine? Yes, there is difference in both. So you should get both vaccines. You get protection from both viruses. But it is better to have a 2 week interval between 2 vaccinations. It keep you from getting COVID-19. Or COVID-19 vaccination may also help you keep you from getting serious ill if you do get COVID-19. Getting vaccinated also protect people around you. All the facts I have mentioned is known to all of us because for the past 2 years, all the social media like radio, television, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube have only featured speeches and discussion about the corona and its awareness. From this it's clear, if we do not have a body immune system, there is a risk that any type of virus will approach us and destroy us. To transform our body into an immune system, to maintain healthy habits and diets to keep our body fit and boost our immune system. In a weekend, the coronavirus has since spread to all continents except Antarctica. We can protect ourselves from the corona. Prevention is better than cure. Thank you.
Very happy morning to all. Honorable judges, respected teachers, and my dear friends. Do you all know why I am here standing today in front of you? Now, I am going to deliver a speech about COVID and vaccination. Coronavirus is a contagious disease caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome. Let's get started by knowing about coronavirus first. The disease has since spread worldwide, leading to the ongoing pandemic. The first ever case of coronavirus was identified in Wuhan, China in 2019. The disease has spread since worldwide, leading to the ongoing pandemic. COVID-19 transmits when people breathe in air contaminated by droplets and small air particles containing the virus. People remain contagious for up to 20 days and can spread the virus even if they do not develop the symptoms. Infected people are more likely to spread the virus when they are physically close. However, infection can occur at places which are in longer distances, especially in younger places. Now, I'm going to talk about some important points which includes causes of COVID-19. Actually, coronavirus is an airborne infectious organism, so it can easily enter our respiratory path. But respiration can occur at every places. But airborne transmission occurs in longer distances, mainly in places that are poorly ventilated. In those conditions, airborne transmission occurs where small airborne particles get suspended in the air for minutes to hours. According to a study, the number of people get infected by one infected person varies, as only 10 to 20% of the people are responsible for the disease's spread. In some cases, super spreading even occurs, where only one people is affected by many people. Number 2, how to diagnose and prevent COVID. COVID-19 can be diagnosed with the help of RT-PCR scans and nucleic acid tests of the infected secretions. According to a university, it has appointed that a good proportion of newly mild cases were found and they are not at all infectious. People retesting after the quarantine and discharge from the hospital are not at all infectious, but simply reclearing the harmless virus particles their immune system has efficiently dealt with. Number 3, how to prevent COVID infection. There are many points to prevent the measures of reduce the chances of getting infected include number 1, getting vaccinated, avoid being at crowded places, avoid touching your hands, nose or eyes with your unwashed hands, staying at home for who are sick, self-quarantine at home for those who are infected, keep distance from others, wash your hands with soap and water oftenly, wear a mask at public and keep a distance from others, always stay in ventilated places. Number 3, how to prevent COVID and get treated when someone is infected. There is no specific or effective treatment for coronavirus. However, highly anticipated vaccines have now been introduced and begin to slow the process of COVID-19. Antiviral remdesivir is now available in Canada, US, India and Australia and in other several countries with varying restrictions. However, it is not recommended for the people needing medical ventilation and is discouraged altogether by the World Health Organization. And finally, about vaccination. A COVID vaccine is a vaccine that helps to provide immunity against corona. It helps to reduce the spread,
severity, and the causes of COVID-19 infection. India has begun administration of COVID-19 vaccines on January 26, 2019. But as of October 2022, India has administered over 977 million vaccines, including the first and second doses. So, let me conclude this speech by saying, let's stay smart, SMART, where S stands for stay home when you're sick, M stands for mask when out, A stands for avoid crowded places, R stands for rectifying places, T stands for 10 feet distance is better than 6. So let's stay smart and follow the golden guidelines instructed by the Government of India. Let's all stay together and win the battle against Corona. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. Thank you. Jay.
Good morning, honorable judges, respected teachers, and all my dear friends. And this morning, I'm here to talk about COVID and vaccination. Some of us currently say that health is God, everything is God. Health is wealth, and nothing is superior than whatever stands in the present moment. A healthy person, rich or poor, lives more happy and peaceful life than a rich person having a diseased body. Nowadays, a new respiratory disease called COVID-19 is spreading across the world. COVID-19 caused a large number of deaths across the world. Any certified treatment for COVID-19 has not been discovered. It was first identified in December 2019 in Wuhan city of China. We can use some safety measures for protection against these diseases. We have to wash our hands with soap and water regularly. We should cover our nose and mouth with mask while going outside. We should also sanitize our hands. We should maintain a distance of at least 5 to 6 feet from one person to another person. Avoid touching our eyes, nose and mouth. The lockdowns and curfews to contain the spread of viruses impacted the way children learn and the way people earn. People did not have work because all the economic, social and educational activities were closed for a long time. Global cities like New York, London and Mumbai looked like a ghost towns at the height of the COVID-19 lockdown, with deserted streets and lined off closed shops. Usually, when one country faces a problem like natural disaster, help will be pouring from around the globe. But now, all countries are struggling in the COVID-19 pandemic, and hence, the help from the abroad might be limited. Humans are social beings, and having interactions with friends and families is important to our mental well-being. But social distancing guidelines and restrictions on even small gatherings of people have thrown many people into thoughts of loneliness. One of the most significant impact of this pandemic has been in the field of education. Remote or online learning has now replaced our traditional classrooms. However, the switch from the pen and paper to the online education comes at a high cost. Technology like computers and high-speed internet are needed to adapt these online sessions. People around the world are still facing the COVID-19 pandemic. We should come out of the situation and back to our regular work and normal life. The only way to back to normal life is being vaccinated. The human body has a natural defensive mechanism that helps deals with multiple infections and diseases. However, this COVID-19 can overwhelm the immune system. When this happens, it can cause serious illness. At this time, vaccination is a way to teach the immune system how to recognize and eliminate a virus from our body. Vaccination is a process in which vaccine is given to improve the immunity of our body against the virus. The government of India has approved the COVID-19 vaccinations drive on 16th January 2021. Saying this, our PM Modi has launched the COVID-19 vaccinations, named Covishield and Covaxin respectively, which can save millions of lives. It is estimated that a minimum of 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines is needed for full immunization. It is a safe and effective way of protecting people against this disease. Vaccines reduce the risk of getting COVID-19 by working with our body's immune system. It can help us to avoid getting serious even if you get COVID-19. Vaccines were introduced in phased manner. In first phase, the vaccine is given to doctors, nurses and medical workers, and second phase in police, armed forces and municipal workers. In third phase, people above 50 years of age and most patients having organ transplant, depression and diarrhea and sugar problem. Only by coming together will the world be able to face down the COVID-19 pandemic and its shattering consequences. Be safe from coronavirus infection, be smart and inform yourself about it, be kind to one another. Thank you.
Happy morning to all our honorable judges, respected teachers and my friends. Today I am going to talk about COVID and vaccination. COVID-19. O stands for Corona, B for virus, D for disease 2019 novel coronavirus. It is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Coronavirus is a large group of viruses. They include SARS in China 2003, MERS in Saudi Arabia 2012, SARS-CoV-2 virus China 2019, and that is coronavirus. About 80% people recover from the disease without special treatment, but there are some people have serious illness like chronic respiratory disease, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and BP. India is in second place for most affected disease by coronavirus. On 31st December 2019, in India, coronavirus in Wuhan, China, coronavirus was first reported. The virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or nose in small liquid particles when they cough, sneeze, speak, or breathe. COVID-19 affects different people in different ways. Most common symptoms are fever, cough, tiredness, loss of taste or smell. Less common symptoms are sore throat, head, breath irritating eyes, and skin rash. Serious symptoms are pneumonia, organ failure, difficulty in breathing, and chest pain. If a person affected by coronavirus, he should isolate himself in well-ventilated room, take rest and take lots of fluid. Preventive measures are stay at least 1 meter apart from others. Wear mask. If you feel unwell, stay home and isolate yourself. Prevention is better than cure. Vaccine is a substance used to stimulate production of antibodies and provide immunity against the virus. The first vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796 for smallpox. The 7 vaccines are approved by WHO or Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Janssen, AstraZeneca, Sinovac, CoronaVac, and Sinopharm. On 16 January, in India, vaccination started. Now 70% people of coronavirus, after complete the vaccination, our country immunity against the virus. The common side effects of vaccines are fever, headache, sore arm, and feeling tired. Before vaccine, many doctors, nurses, and COVID patients have died. After vaccine, the death rate is gradually decreased. In this COVID period, the contribution of nurses, doctors, police officers, and sanitation workers are very important. So please respect them. Let's follow the guidance from our country. Vaccine does not cause any illness to us. So break all myth around it and make our country fully vaccinated. Throw the devil corona out of the world. Thank you.
A warm welcome and a hearty good morning to honorable judges, respected principal, teachers, and all my dear friends. Now I am going to talk about the giant coronavirus and its vaccination. Coronavirus is a large family of virus which may cause illness in animals and humans. In humans, several coronavirus causes respiratory infection. Several coronavirus causes respiratory infection in animals and humans. Coronavirus is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. The first known case was identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. It was spread in worldwide and in India too. Coronavirus
Good morning to everybody. Coronavirus, which is commonly known as COVID-19, is an infectious disease that causes illness in respiratory system in humans. Coronavirus has affected day to day our life. It affected millions of people. Coronavirus easily can spread person to person. It identified in December 2019 in China. In March 2020, World Health Organization declared coronavirus outbreak a pandemic. Symptoms of COVID-19. Coronavirus symptoms are fever, cold, cough, headache, respiratory problem, muscle pain, bone pain, and loss of smell and taste. Precautions of COVID-19. And the simple precautions such as wearing wash your hands, soap or sanitizer, social distancing, wearing a mask, etc. Vaccination. As government, 4 major types of vaccinations: Covaxin, Covishield, Sputnik V, Pfizer. Covishield is may be serum Institute of India is called Covishield. Covaxin is made by Hyderabad Biotech. Sputnik V is a Gamila Research Institute in Russia. Pfizer is an American multinational New York City in USA. Thank you.
Too much of anything can be bad, even time spent with those who are closest to you. And that's how some families had discovered the COVID-19 during their lockdown. Time is becoming timeless. Even seconds, minutes, hours, weeks, days, months are flying away. But I'm happy to have more time with my mom. The whole world is taking a break and shows as it charms. Even I danced and played in the streets without a shame. The playgrounds are asking about us. There are no school, no classes, no guests, no visitors, no friends, no parks, even no peace of mind. Only empty and sad streets. I'm so afraid that I'll get to my parents and friends get sick. Even I'm so scared that I'll get to my grandparents too. And their doors will be opened. Before I would say to everyone, I want to be alone, but now I want to be next to you. Yes, I'm happier today because I'm standing here. It's my immense pleasure to start this auspicious occasion by heartily welcoming our honorable judges, respected principal, teachers, and all my dear friends. Good morning to everyone. Now here I am going to talk about the types of COVID variant and its post effects. This COVID had gripped everyone with fear. There was a huge demand between hospital beds and oxygen. The cries of the patients had filled the hospitals. The demand for the oxygen was more than the level of productions. Many of the patients are waiting in the ambulance and a couple of days they died. There was an air hunger between the patients. Their relatives weren't allowed to take the corpse to perform their last rites, and these were the severe causes intended by this pandemic. Nowadays we can see multiple versions of COVID-19 from the first version discovered in China. The multiple versions of COVID-19 are Alpha, Beta, Gamma and Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa and Lambda. Firstly, the Alpha was found in UK, whereas the Beta was found in Brazil, the Gamma was found in South America, Delta was found in India, Epsilon from USA, Zeta from Thailand, Eta from multiple countries, Theta from Philippines, Iota from USA, Kappa from India and Lambda from Peru, South America. Among these variants, the Delta variant is considered as the most predominant variant as it covers more than 99% of COVID cases around the world. It leads to an increase in hospitalization of some states in India. Post-COVID syndrome, also known as the long-term COVID, refers to symptoms which is persisting for more than 3 weeks from the diagnosis of COVID-19. Even after from the diagnosis of COVID-19. Some post effects of COVID-19 are shortness of breath, chest pain, lingering cough, loss of taste and smell, dizziness, fatigue, and even gastrointestinal disorders too. Or these silly types of variants can affect our whole humanity? Will this COVID-19 vaccine can still work? Is there any end for this pandemic? Wait, here is what you should know. WHO recommends everyone to have a healthy lifestyle by adding nutrition-nourished food and getting a plenty of sleep is must. Physical activities is also another way to get rid of that COVID. Get fully vaccinated for COVID will protect you from against other variants, but still breakthrough infections can occur. WHO recommends every one of us to wait until get fully vaccinated. Remember, if you are not get fully vaccinated, you are putting yourself into a risk. This includes even the unvaccinated children too. Unvaccinated adults and children must wear masks, keep social distancing, and hygienic precaution conditions are must for you. And please don't travel abroad if possible. Although vaccines afford high protection, the infection with Delta variant and other variants remains possible. Moreover, follow the guidelines given by the WHO, Be safe, stay safe, and be aware. Thank you.
COVID-19 will reshape our world. We don't know yet when the crisis will end, but we can be sure that when it does, our world will look very different. Good morning, one and all present here. It's my happy privilege to speak in front of you all about the effects of virus variant on COVID-19 and its post effects. Firstly, let me brief about the coronavirus and its symptoms. What is a coronavirus? Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses which may cause illness in animals or humans. In humans, several coronaviruses are known to cause respiratory infection ranging from the common cold to more severe disease. COVID-19 is a contagious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. This new virus and disease were unknown before the outbreak began in Wuhan, China in December 2019. As it was discovered in 2019, the virus is named respectively as COVID-19. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has reported the symptoms of COVID-19. They are fever, cough, cold, fatigue, myalgia, dyspnea, nausea, diarrhea, and most importantly, loss of smell, that is anosmia, and loss of taste, that is ageusia. Children might not have fever or cough as frequently as elders. The diagnosis of COVID-19 can be done with proper throat and nasal swab, which has been taken appropriately with the help of PPE, that is personal protective equipment. Two types of tests are performed to rule out COVID-19. They are RT-PCR and rapid antigen test. Chest X-rays are also being performed for patients with moderate respiratory illness as a confirmatory procedure to rule out COVID-19. Some of the major risk factors are age more than 60, underlying non-communicable disease like cardiovascular disease, hypertension, coronary artery disease, diabetes mellitus, and other immunocompromised states like chronic lung, kidney, liver disease. As of July 2021, there are 4 dominant variants of SARS-CoV-2 spreading among the global population. They are the Alpha variant, formerly called the UK variant, the Beta variant, formerly called the South Africa variant, the Gamma variant, formerly called the Brazil variant, the Delta variant is formerly called the India variant. The SARS-CoV-2 and its variant can affect a wide range of cells and system of a body. It is best known for affecting the upper respiratory tract, that is sinus, nose and throat, and lower respiratory tract, that is windpipe and lungs. And it also affects the cardiovascular system, nervous system and gastrointestinal tract. According to the recent data, the Delta virus is more contagious and spreads faster than the other variants of virus of SARS-CoV-2. Delta is currently the predominant variant of virus in the United States. Delta variant affects and gives severe illness to the unvaccinated people. Unvaccinated people remains the greatest concern. However, vaccinated people can spread the virus to others for a shorter time. Now, let's see about the post-COVID conditions. Post-COVID is a health issue that people can experience after first being infected in 4 or more weeks. This post-COVID condition may also be known as long COVID, long haul COVID, post-acute COVID, and chronic COVID. CDC, that is Center for Disease Control, and experts around the world are trying to learn more about the short and long-term health effects associated with this COVID-19 and who gets them and why. Some of the most reported symptoms of post-COVID conditions are tiredness, fatigue, change in smell or taste, change in menstrual period cycle, tiredness or fatigue, muscles or joint pain, heart palpitation, etc. The people who experiences post-COVID condition may also be affected by the multi-organ effects, and multi-organ effects may affect many systems of the body like heart, lungs, kidney, skin and brain functions. So some of the preventive measures to control post-COVID condition is to prevent COVID-19 illness. People who are eligible to get vaccinated, please get vaccinated as soon as you can. If you are not eligible to get vaccinated, please follow the SOP, that is Standard Operating Protocol, produced by our government. This pandemic has magnified each and every inequality in our society, said by a speaker in London. But what I say is, virus don't discriminate and neither should we. Keep calm and wear masks on. Thank you.
Once upon a time, to be more specific, 25th March 2020. Remember, the Indian government ordered nationwide lockdown to control the spread of COVID-19. Everything was new for us. Stay home, wear mask, keep physical distance, the caller tune which was really annoying. But to be honest, we weren't quite aware of the situation, or should I say the devil, in the near future. A great and a glorious morning to the spectacular crowd before whom I am about to deliver a speech on the topic, effects of variants on COVID-19 and post-effects. The COVID-19 was first identified on December 31st, 2019. The World Health Organization declared a pandemic, meaning it is spreading globally, on March 11, 2020. It has been more than 18 months since the novel coronavirus caused an outbreak of the respiratory disease COVID-19. Since then, the COVID-19 has spread across the globe, sickening more than 203 million people and claiming the lives of 4.3 million. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2. It spreads primarily by person-to-person contact through respiratory droplets which become airborne when an infected person coughs, sneezes or speaks. Most people diagnosed with COVID-19 experience respiratory illness with fever, cough and difficulty breathing. Sometimes people experience chills and shaking, muscle pain, headache, sore throat or new loss of sense of taste or smell. People with chronic health conditions and the elderly are most likely to have a life-threatening case of the disease. Sadly, the COVID-19 pandemic has pushed an additional 97 million people into extreme poverty in 2020 according to World Bank estimates. So talking about variants, all viruses including SARS-CoV-2 evolve over time. When a virus replicates or makes copies of itself, it changes a little bit, which is normal for a virus. These changes are called mutations. When a virus mutates one or more times, it is referred to as the variant of the original virus. So what exactly causes a virus to change to a new variant? When a virus is widely circulating in a population and spreading many infections, the likelihood of the virus mutating increases. The more opportunities it has to spread, the more it replicates, and hence the more opportunities it has to undergo changes. Most viral mutations have little to no impact on the virus property to cause infections. But depending on where the changes are located on the virus genetic material, it may affect the virus properties, such as transmission. For example, it may spread more or less easily, or severity, it may cause a severe form of the disease. Researchers say that a variant of SARS-CoV-2 are detected every week. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, there are 4 notable variants: the alpha variant, the beta variant, the gamma variant, and the delta variant. The delta variant is a version of coronavirus that has been detected in more than 132 countries. It was first discovered in India on December 2020. It has been called a variant of concern by the World Health Organization because of its increased transmissibility and its ability to cause a severe form of the disease. So it raises the question, is the delta variant more contagious? Yes, it is highly contagious, about twice as the previous variants. However, the same precautions such as wearing a mask, keep physical distancing, still work against the delta variant. Most people infected with COVID-19 recover with 10 days of illness, but some people may continue to experience mild symptoms post-recovery, known as post-COVID syndrome or long COVID. These people may experience post-COVID conditions which may affect the organs and cause long-term health problems. Some signs and symptoms of post-COVID conditions observed after recovery include fever, fatigue, dizziness, new onset diabetes, chest pain and coughing, red rashes on the skin, symptoms that get worse after physical or mental activities. Although COVID is seen as a disease which primarily affects the lungs, it can cause damage to other organs as well. It includes brain, heart, kidney, liver, etc. After people get recovered, the clotting factor of their blood is increased by 3 to 4 times, which may affect the heart or brain. It increases the risk of Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease and even the risk of heart failure, stroke, seizures, etc. etc. So, it is important to remember that most people infected with COVID-19 recover quickly, but the potentially long-lasting problems make it even more important to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by the following precautions. Keep physical distance and avoid crowded spaces. Wear your mask properly. Wash your hands frequently with a alcohol-based sanitizer. When it's your turn, get vaccinated. These 4 precautions can be taken as an updated version of the 4 mantras of life in this period. COVID-19 vaccines are proven to be effective against many virus variants and are tested by multiple drug authorities. So, are you vaccinated? If not, when it's your turn, get vaccinated as soon as possible, because remember, when you are protecting yourself, you are also protecting those around you. From the last 2 months, the cases have been dropping steadily, and around 66% of the adult population have been inoculated with the first dose, and 22% have already completed 2 doses. But this decreasing number does not mean that we should wear our mask for the chin or use a sanitizer for a perfume, because beware of the third wave that is only in our hands. So the pandemic seems to be coming to a conclusion, as well as my speeches that I'm sure everyone is waiting for. So let me conclude. Louis Lamont once said, there will come a time when you believe everything is over. That will be the new beginning. So let's hope that the end of this pandemic be a new start in our lives with greater hopes. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you everyone.
The coronavirus has given us a tremendous impact to the whole world, right? Well, I'm going to talk about it under its topic of variants and post effects of COVID. There are thousands of different variants of COVID circulating across the world. One of them is Delta. Its scientific term is B.1.617.2. It's first identified in India and has been spread over many countries, including UK, where it has become a dominant threat. It is also considered as one of the variants of concerns and watched over by health officials. The other variants of concerns are Alpha. Its scientific term is B.1.7. It's first identified in UK and spread in over 15 countries. Next is Beta. Its scientific term is B.1.351. It's first identified in South Africa and has been spread in over at least 20 countries. Next is Gamma. B.1 is first identified in Brazil and has been spread in over more than 10 countries. Virus mutates all the time. Some changes are inconsequential. Virus can harm diseases. Well, it can also make them more infectious and threatening. Next is the effects of COVID. We know COVID virus is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Most people affected by the SARS-CoV-2 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without needing medical treatment. However, some people become seriously ill and require serious medical treatments, like elderly peoples and people who have underlying conditions like chronic respiratory disease, diarrhea, cardiovascular disease, or cancer are more likely to develop. Next is the symptoms. Most common symptoms are tiredness, cough, fever, loss of taste or smell. Less common effects are sore throat, headache, ache, pain, red or irritated eyes, discoloration of fingers or toes. Severe symptoms are shortness of breath, loss of speech, mobility or confusion, and chest pain, and your body tend to be over 38 degrees Celsius. Many long term of COVID is still unknown to us. Research is ongoing. Researchers recommend doctors to monitor the people who have had COVID-19 to see if their organs are functioning all right. Most medical centers opening specialized clinics to provide care over these COVID-19 patients who have still persistent symptoms. It affects the organs too. In heart, it can raise the risk of heart failures and other heart complications. In lungs, the pneumonia of COVID-19 can damage the tiny air sacs called as alveoles in lungs, which can make a bigger issue by long terms of breathing problems. In brain, even in children, it can cause strokes, seizures, Guillain-Barré syndrome that causes temporary paralysis. COVID-19 can also cause to develop Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. It also causes blood clots and blood vessels to damage and getting weakened, and it damages the kidneys and livers. Even people who have had mild versions of the COVID-19 can still continues to get symptoms, who have been hospitalized and has been taken care. These health conditions are called as post-COVID-19 effects. It may not seem much, but it can be very dangerous to you and the surroundings. So please be careful and aware of what you're doing and going through crowds. To prevent yourself, wear mask daily and see if you're in crowds, and drink water and wash your hands and use alcohol-based stuff frequently, and get vaccinated when it's available. I appreciate you for listening to my speech. Thank you.
A very pleasant morning to honorable eminent judges, respected principal, headmaster, teachers and all my dear friends. Today I am here to share a few words about the variants of COVID-19 and its post effects. Let's see the variants of COVID-19. According to World Health Organization, there are two main types of COVID-19. One is said to be the variant of concern and the other is said to be the variant of interest. Till now, they have detected 4 types of COVID-19 under the variants of concern, namely Alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. And there are 8 types of COVID-19 discovered under the variant of interest, namely lambda, mu, epsilon, theta, eta, zeta, iota, and kappa. Today, let's see about the variants of concern as it is known as the major variant of COVID-19. Number 1. Alpha. Alpha variant was first detected in October 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic in the United Kingdom. And the World Health Organization labeled the alpha variant as lineage B117, was previously known as the first variant of COVID-19. There had been some evidence that this variant has 40 to 80% of increased transmissibility. Number 2. Beta variant. Beta variant was first detected in South Africa on 18th December of 2020 and reported by the country's health department. The World Health Organization labeled the beta variant as lineage B1351. Scientists and researchers said that the prevalence of the variants was high among the young people with no underlying health conditions, and by comparison with other lineages, it is frequently resulting in serious illness. Number 3. Gamma variant. Gamma variant was first detected in Brazil on 2nd January of 2021. It shows 2.2 times high transmissibility. The World Health Organization labeled the gamma variant as lineage P1. A study shows that infection by gamma can produce nearly 10 times more viral load when compared to the other lineages. It were also found to be 10 to 80% more lethal. Number 4. Delta variant. Delta variant was first detected in India, and the World Health Organization labeled the Delta variant as lineage B1617.2. They flagged evidence that they spread more quickly than the original version of the virus. It carries L452R and P681R, 2 notable mutations in its spike. Let's quickly move on to the post effects of COVID-19. Most people who have COVID-19 recover completely within a few weeks. But some people, even those who experience very mild versions of the disease, continue to experience symptoms after their initial recovery. They sometimes call themselves as long haulers, and these conditions have been called as post-COVID-19 syndrome or long-term COVID-19. Some common signs and symptoms that linger over time include fatigue, shortness of breath or difficulty in breathing, dizziness when you stand, fever, cough, joint pain, chest pain, headache, memory, concentration or sleep problems, loss of smell or taste, and much more. Although COVID-19 is seen as a disease that primarily affects the lungs, it can damage other organs as well. This organ damage may increase the risk of long-term health problems. Organs that may be affected by COVID-19 includes heart, lungs, and brain. Let's see one by one. Heart. Imagine tests taken months after recovery from COVID-19 have shown lasting damage to the heart muscle. This may lead to the risk of heart failure or other heart complications in the future. Number 2. Lungs. The common type of pneumonia often associated with COVID-19 can cause long-standing damage to the tiny air sacs called the alveoli in the lungs. And number 3. Brain. Even in youngsters, COVID-19 can cause stroke, seizures, Guillain-Barré syndrome, a condition that leads to temporary paralysis. COVID-19 may also increase the risk of developing Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. At last, the message for the people is to keep going, sleep well, eat healthy, and monitor your health by following the preventive measures. Thank you.
announce the result of the Temperance competition poster contest, middle school level of ICSE. Third prize goes to Ranjan or of 6th standard.
Very good.
Second prize to Kaudaman E of 7th standard.
Hey. Medal parra.
Cheryl Disha D of 6th standard. Middle school level state board, classes 6th standard to 8th standard. Third prize goes to Nandini of 8th standard A. Second place to Darsha Z of 7th standard B. And the first prize to Niranjana of 8th standard A. Now it's the time for the high school level prize winners. Third place to Varshana S of 9th B.
So what's it?
9th standard to 10th standard. Third place goes to Varshana S of 9th standard B. Second place to Deepya S of 10th standard B. And the first place to Parameshwari S of 10th standard B.
Next.
Post high school level, 11th standard and 12th standard. Third place to Nancy K, 112502. Second place to Ashwin Kumar S of 112608. Second place goes to Ashwin Kumar S of 112608. And the first prize is Mauli P of 112702. Now I call upon the speech contest prize winners. Middle school level ICSE. Third place goes to Ganesh C of 7th standard. Second prize to Cheryl Diksha D of 6th standard. and the first prize to Rohit B of 7th standard. Middle school level, state board 6th standard and 8th standard. Third place to Niranjana D of 8th standard A section. Niroshan P gets the second place. And the first place to Jashan Jagesh of 8th standard A section. Next level, high school level, 9th standard and 10th standard. Third place to Manoj R of 10th standard A. Second place to Sandhya L of 9th standard B. And the first place to Asia M of 9th standard B. Post high school level, 11th standard and 12th standard. Third place to Jesse Weiss S of 112503. Second place to Jennifer M of 112608. And the first place to Sanjay A of 112503.
Temperance contest of 2021 to 22. For the poster contest, prize winners. Middle school session. Third prize goes to Lavanya of 8th B.
Very good. Congratulations.
Second place, Divya of 8th A.
Come. Very good. You go to the canteen. Okay.
First place goes to Asmita of 7th A.
Close down. Close down. Great.
Next, high school session. Third place goes to Chandil Kumar G of 10th B.
Very good. Okay.
Deepika yes of 10th A got the second place.
Very good. Very good.
Roshni S of 10th A got the first prize.
Very good. Take the medal.
Temperance speech contest from the middle school session. Third place goes to Lavanya A of 8th B.
Very good.
Second place is won by Janani of 7th B.
Very good.
First place is secured by Divya S of 8A.
Very good. Okay.
High school session. Third place goes to Gina R of 10th A.
Come closer. It also. Very good. Okay.
Second place is secured by Subhasri K of 9th A.
Very good.
And first place secured by Reda of 9th A.
Come closer. Very good. It off. Very good.